Good afternoon to you all, and welcome to ARLA 2021. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope you thoroughly enjoy this conference this week and find some nuggets of wisdom and inspiration to take back to your own libraries and to your own communities. I don't want to take up too much of your time this afternoon, but I do have a few things to share. And so just a little bit of a roadmap. I'm thinking about this in three different parts. A brief overview of some few activities and priorities that ARLA has been involved with this past year. A little bit of an interlude to talk about an important issue that's on my mind, and then finally wrap up with 5 things I think we should keep in mind as we move towards the future. So, it seems impossible that we can already be in the month of October, but my Pets of Arla calendar doesn't lie, and here we are coming to the end of a year that, just like last year, has seen far more than its fair share of drama, tragedy, and chaos. Your board took important steps to address these developments, from the statement that ARLA issued in response to the January 6th unrest in our nation's capital to our continued efforts in supporting Arkansas library workers and navigating the strange world of pandemic librarianship. The ARLA board is compassionate, professional, and supportive, and it's my privilege to call each member a colleague. But we're not here to dwell on these challenges. Instead, as we continue looking forward to a post-pandemic reality, our attention is rightly focused on how our libraries and institutions can readjust again in the service of our students, patrons, and communities. It's also an exciting time for those among us who are opening new facilities or working on major renovation projects. Personally, I'm looking forward to getting up to Fayetteville to check out the terrific new expansion of the Fayetteville Public Library and the newly renovated Pine Bluff Public Library as well. Most importantly, Arkansas library personnel continue to be among the most innovative folks around, and a few of their fantastic achievements have been highlighted in the new member spotlights that have been shared this year. So I'd like to encourage everyone to please continue to celebrate your awesome coworkers and colleagues. Our association is also focused on maintaining positive forward momentum. Many of you may be familiar with the list of initiatives that circulated at the beginning of the year, and Darby Wallace, a former library director and school library media specialist, is leading the Presidential Initiatives Task Force in an effort to transform these initiatives into actionable outcomes our association can pursue in order to maintain and enhance our ability to serve each individual working in an Arkansas library. The Bylaws Committee, as well, following the huge effort of revising the bylaws and handbook last year, is building on that success to tie up loose ends and keep ARLA in shipshape under the dedicated leadership of Janice Weddle. And finally, and the reason we're all here today, Rachel Shankles and the conference committee have done a tremendous job preparing to deliver this event to you. So please let Rachel and her team know how much you appreciate their hard work this year. So let me be the first to jump on that bandwagon. I'd like to officially thank Janice for her hard work as secretary this year. She truly has been an MVP of ARLA this year, and her efforts have improved not only how the board operates, but communication as well. And I appreciate it very much, so thank you. And similarly, Rachel has done a phenomenal job with the conference this year. This is only the second year that ARLA has held a virtual conference. And we all know whenever you introduce technology into the mix, the level of complexity goes up exponentially. And so Rachel has thrown herself into this week's event, and it definitely shows. So thank you. Thank you very much. All told, if 2020 was the year of the pivot, then my hope is that 2021 has been the year of community. Supporting each other is more important than ever. And on that note, I'd like to take a moment to discuss an issue that I feel very strongly about, if you all will indulge me. If we as a profession and an association cannot come together in support of our colleagues around the state, then we have failed in our central purpose. I'm sure that many of you are aware or have experienced firsthand the unfortunate divide that persists even now between professional librarians and the paraprofessional members of our team. This distinction is something that only exists in our side of the equation. The patrons and students who utilize our services recognize no difference between degreed and non-degreed library staff, and rightly so. To them, individuals who work in a library are called librarians, and if service is what matters most in our profession, then why do some of us spend precious time and energy cultivating internal division? It's amazing that I should have to say this in 2021, and I trust most of you will agree with me. But staff have value because of what they bring to the table, not because of a degree they may or may not have. Many non-librarians have as much or more relevant experience and knowledge than those who have completed an MLIS degree. And you don't have to take my word for it. Ask anyone how well their degree actually prepared them for the work that they do, and then join them in sharing the humor of that question. Obviously, this is not meant to devalue the MLIS degree in any way. It's certainly a worthwhile pursuit and a valuable credential that can open the doors to greater opportunity. But also, like any other credential, it's a ticket, not a replacement for experience, insight, creativity, energy, work ethic, or dedication. You've heard that there's no I in the word team, and I would like to convey today that there's no MLIS in team either. Placing undue emphasis on the MLIS degree devalues contributions from undegreed or other degreed librarians and damages a supportive team-based environment. I hope that everyone agrees we have much better things to do with our time and energy. Personally, I dislike using the term paraprofessional the same way that I dislike designations such as extra help or classified or library technical reference specialist. And those of you who work in state-funded organizations know exactly what I'm talking about. These unfortunate terms mean nothing to those beyond the world of state appropriations and human resources. They can, however, perpetuate division and resentment among workplace cultures that threaten the cohesiveness of the library team and the team's effectiveness. For these reasons, members of our team here at the South Ark Library are given titles that reflect their areas of responsibility, regardless of educational background or state-designated position. I encourage you all to take similar steps wherever possible, and in any case, actively work to break down barriers that may exist within our organizational cultures. As for the attitudes and division that have plagued our relationships within Arla over the past years, let's make sure it ends this week. We are all librarians. We have an opportunity to change our future for the better, and it will be the fault of each and every one of us if we don't take full advantage of that opportunity. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Librarianship is a profession that has and will continue to become increasingly flexible, learning and borrowing from other industries in order to successfully meet the needs of our communities. Libraries are about empowering individuals, and we will continue to adapt and grow and develop in our pursuit of that mission. The theme of our conference this year is Towards New Horizons, and I'd like to take a few moments to explore 5 things I think we should keep in mind and explore as our future moves as our profession moves towards the future. Many of you may have had the honor of meeting or working with Phyllis Burkett, the former library director at Craighead County, Jonesboro Public Library. One pearl of wisdom that she shared a number of years ago is that the library should be where it's not expected to be. For some libraries, that might involve setting up a booth at a festival downtown. For others, it might be joining a conversation across campus about college affordability. And for others, it might be growing a community garden or serving after-school meals. And we have examples of libraries doing all of these things here in Arkansas. The key is to move beyond the normal expectations of what a library is and should do, and reimagine how the library can meet the community needs and help people grow. The second thing I'll say, and many of you have probably heard this before, is that libraries and library staff need to become exceptional storytellers. We all know that what we do is important and is essential, but we rely on so many others to help secure the funding and support needed to keep our libraries up and running. Kieran Hickson, who's speaking at our conference this week, once gave a presentation all about the incredible connection humans have with stories. Our brains are wired to recognize, to follow, to remember, and enjoy stories. Good stories include a moment of suspense, which prompts the release of cortisol or anxiety into the brain, followed by a happy ending and the release of dopamine, which indicates reward or pleasure. By using these techniques in marketing and networking and engaging with the public and with stakeholders, libraries can demonstrate their impact in a dramatic and memorable way. So immerse your community in the world of your library and why the world is a better place because of it, and you will make a compelling impression. Number 3, I believe libraries need to become more and more collaborative, reaching beyond our walls and traditional activities to partner with other organizations and groups and people in ways that allow us to reach new users and meet their needs. None of us operate in a vacuum, and so all of our actions will obviously have an effect on the people and the organizations around us, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, I'm sure we can all think of examples where communication and coordination needs to be improved, and beyond that, where cooperation between local or regional entities can lead to valuable benefits. Combined effort towards shared or similar goals helps everyone involved and can amplify potential impact. Our focus should be on cultivating relationships where synergistic partnerships and collaboration can develop easily and naturally. A positive side effect of this will be that the library can become recognized as a valuable partner, a cornerstone of local community landscape. And that gets back to our first point about the library being where it's not expected to be. Who knows what opportunities might come from something like that. Number 4, and again, something many of you are probably thinking about already, I believe that libraries should shift our perspectives to focus more on people rather than materials. Some people who might not use their library all that often would say that libraries are in the book business. We've all heard that before. Some folks with a little more insight might say that libraries are in the information business, and that's certainly getting closer. But I think we can all agree, though, that libraries today are about people, promoting opportunity for individuals and progress for communities. We should continue to place people at the center of what we do and realize that everything else is secondary by comparison. If that means reimagining some of our priorities or reconfiguring aspects of our physical space, then I believe that those are conversations we should continually have to make sure that we're both understanding and striving to effectively meet the needs of everyone who comes through our doors. Of course, post-pandemic, we realize that through our doors is a figure of speech. There's an entire world of resources and services that libraries provide in the digital environment or a hybrid fashion. And over the past couple of years, we've seen awe-inspiring examples of the innovation and creativity that Arkansas library staff have brought to the table for their patrons. So let's maintain that momentum. Finally, number 5, I'd like to encourage everyone to never stop learning. This may sound obvious, but I think it's worth remembering every once in a while. I'm not only talking about professional development, which is certainly important. Librarianship is one profession where everything you experience is valuable in your job, and I do mean everything. If you attend a concert, or have a flat tire, or watch a TV show, or try a new recipe, you're learning even though you may not realize it at the time. And then later on, when someone asks a question or a certain situation presents itself, you may find yourself remembering something that you didn't realize you knew. And these kinds of things can be extremely valuable in our daily lives. So lean into that. Seek out opportunities to learn and try new things and expand your own horizons so that in turn you can help others do the same. So by now some of you may have realized that I'm an optimist. I'm inspired by potential, and I believe that working together we can accomplish great things. I believe that the future of the Arkansas Library Association is a great one, a bright one. Over the past couple of years, we've seen our organization look to the past for lessons and wisdom, move forward towards progress, and of course chart new waters as we've faced unprecedented challenges, but also worked to lay a solid foundation for future success. It's my belief that now the time has come to build on these valuable efforts and embark towards new horizons, to be ambitious on purpose, and to boldly go where our members, the hardworking librarians of Arkansas and the communities that we serve, need us the most. We will continue to be faced with important questions and decisions related to how we and our libraries navigate significant challenges. But through it all, our mission remains the same: to provide valuable resources and a supportive environment where our students, patrons, and communities can learn and grow. Remember, we are all librarians. We're in this together, and the future is in all of our hands. I don't remember who it was, but I recall hearing someone say that libraries are a force for good in a world that needs all the forces for good it can possibly get. Join me this week in recognizing the essential power of libraries and celebrating the hard work of those who keep our libraries up and running and serving the needs of our communities. Welcome to the conference.